Have you ever noticed that some people suddenly lose interest in controlling you the moment you change one simple thing? It almost feels like they give up overnight. The strange part is that it has nothing to do with becoming stronger, louder, or more aggressive. In fact, the one thing that makes manipulators back off is often the exact opposite of what most people do. If you've ever dealt with someone who made you question yourself, feel guilty for saying no, or constantly pushed your boundaries, stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand the one psychological shift that makes manipulators realize they can no longer control you. Once you know this, you'll never see manipulation the same way again. Manipulators don't choose everyone. They look for people who react in predictable ways. They pay attention to your emotions, your habits, and your fears. They notice if you apologize too much. They notice if you hate disappointing people. They notice if you always explain yourself. The biggest mistake people make is believing manipulators are always smarter. They're not. They're simply good at studying human behavior. They know that if they create enough guilt, fear, or confusion, many people will eventually give in just to avoid conflict. Every time you defend yourself for hours, every time you desperately try to prove you're a good person, every time you beg someone to understand your side, you're giving them your attention. Attention is one of the biggest rewards a manipulator can receive. But everything changes the moment you stop playing their game. Imagine someone trying to start an argument with you. They expect you to become angry. They expect you to explain yourself. They expect you to chase their approval. Instead, you remain calm. You answer briefly. You don't raise your voice. You don't try to win. Suddenly, they don't know what to do. One of the most powerful things you can do is stop explaining every decision you make. Healthy people respect your choices even if they don't fully understand them. Manipulators, however, often see explanations as invitations to negotiate. Before long, you're defending a decision that never needed defending in the first place. Instead, learn to say simple sentences. Short answers leave very little room for manipulation. They may not like your response, but they also can't easily twist it. Another reason manipulators back off is because they hate uncertainty. Manipulators often test people with small actions before trying bigger ones. They may interrupt you constantly. They may borrow things without asking. Each small test is measuring one thing. Will you tolerate this? If you ignore every small boundary violation, they assume you'll tolerate bigger ones later. You don't have to become rude. You don't have to start fights. You simply need to calmly protect your limits. Manipulators also depend on self-doubt. They love making people question their own memory, feelings, or judgment. You may have heard someone say, "That never happened. You're imagining things. You're too emotional. You're overreacting." Over time, hearing these statements repeatedly can make anyone doubt themselves. But here's the secret. Confident people don't need everyone to agree with their reality. They intentionally pause after making accusations or unreasonable requests because they expect you to panic and start talking. But silence can become your greatest strength. When someone demands an answer immediately, take your time. Think before you speak. Calm people make better decisions than rushed people. Manipulators also dislike people who have strong support systems. Isolation makes manipulation much easier. Healthy relationships encourage connection. Manipulative relationships often encourage dependence. If someone constantly tells you not to trust your family, your friends, or anyone else, pay attention. Healthy relationships encourage connection. The more perspectives you have, the harder it becomes for one person to control your thinking. Never underestimate the value of trusted friends who can give honest advice. Anyone can set boundaries once. The real change happens when you continue respecting yourself even when it's uncomfortable. Sometimes people complain because the version of you they liked was the version they could control. Healthy people celebrate your growth. Manipulative people resist it. One of the biggest lessons in life is realizing that you cannot control how others behave. You can only control your response. Real confidence doesn't come from winning arguments. It comes from knowing you don't need to win every argument to protect your peace. Some people think strength means having the perfect comeback. In reality, strength often means walking away from conversations designed to drain you. The goal isn't to make manipulators respect you. The goal is to respect yourself enough that manipulation no longer works. Once you stop chasing approval, stop over-explaining your choices, stop feeling guilty for healthy boundaries, and stop reacting to every attempt to provoke you, something amazing happens. Their words lose power. Their guilt stops affecting you. Their pressure becomes ineffective. And little by little, they begin backing away because they understand they've lost the one thing they needed most: control. That's the moment you truly become free, not because they changed, but because you did.